Welcome to Hollywood as I live and work.
Now first off, like the documentary ends on a really positive note, and I'm just wondering where you're at with all the members right now and how you're feeling about the documentary, like right now at this moment, because it's always unpredictable.
Documentary is fun. I like it actually. It came out real good. And as far as the rest of the group, I'm cool with everybody, including Q-Tip. Everything's cool.
When you were first approached to do this, did you have any kind of fear or resistance that something might be revealed or anything that you didn't want out?
Nah. I just wanted to know how real I could keep it, because when you say the word documentary, you got to pretty much keep it 100.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're blessed to have a following like we have. You know what I mean? You can't front on your people that support you like that. So I figured, yo, you sure? All right, cool. I'm gonna let it out. You know
now
what
it
I'm saying?
looked like to us as the viewers that you revealed a whole lot. Did you hold anything back? Is there a lot that we still don't know?
Nah, I didn't hold a lot back. I'm usually discreet, especially about my health issues or whatever. But I felt like if I could help one person or a million people, and if this documentary was the conduit to do so, then I was all for it. You know what I mean? Because I don't wish what I had to go through on nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Well, how did you feel that become the main thrust of the last half of the movie?
You know what? I didn't think it was. It was just something. Because me and Mike, Mike is cool. We were talking about sports and this, that, and the other. New Yorkers understand New Yorkers, things of that nature. So everything just clicked, you know what I mean? It was almost like the camera wasn't even on. And we just happened to be talking about my health or whatever. And being that I was just turning the corner at the time, about to go in for the operation and everything, it just felt right, you know what I mean? So we ended up talking about it. So I didn't feel no way about it at all. But like I said, I'm usually discreet about it, but I let it out because, like I said, I don't want nobody to have to go through that. And I hope I help some people out with whatever they're going through. I had a conversation with Angela Winbush not too long ago. She had ovarian cancer. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But I saw her unsung, got in touch with her, and we were just talking. So I ended up being glad that I spoke about it in the movie.
And how do you feel right now?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be talking right now or doing any of this press if I didn't feel good. But I'm back. I'm playing ball again, all of that. So it's
I know
all
that
good.
record labels are all about money and politics and stuff like that. So when your health became an issue for them, and they're of course like, oh, what's going to happen with our dough that we put out there? Were they supportive? Were they invested in a human way, or was it really like...
You said the record labels?
Mm-hmm.
Nah. I mean, we hadn't recorded for Jive since like 98, even up to now, 98. So when I first became sick or whatever, I didn't even look to them for any help or anything like that. I felt like I made my bed and I just happened to lay in it. But I worked it out, you know what I mean, without any help from them, definitely.
How did Mike first approach you to do the documentary?
Well, I was the last member that he actually approached about it, and he had already talked to the other three. They said yes, so I said yes. It was that simple.
How long did it take, the process?
To
of filming?
record or to film? Mike started filming August 2008, and it just wrapped it up like December 2010.
Would you
Just
have
wondering
still
what
done-
you went through, like the first time you saw the documentary in its finished form. And
Say that again?
What did you feel about the documentary the first time you first saw it? And can you talk about that scene where Jerobi talks about his friendship with you? How did you feel the first time you saw that sequence?
That's a good question, because that's the part exactly that I had to fall back like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So it was difficult watching it the first time. But I embraced it. I thought Mike did a good job. You know what I mean? So I didn't feel no way. I just didn't know what to expect as far as when the people saw it. Because there's a big difference watching it with your family versus watching it amongst 300 people at Sundance. You know what I mean? And the way they embraced the film, I was overwhelmed by that. You know what I mean? So it's all good.
What was it like watching it with your family when, the scene where your wife says she's going to, donate her kidney?
Oh, it was cool. It was cool. I mean, it was more emotional when she actually said that, more so than actually watching it or watching it on TV or whatever. You know?
If Mike had not asked Tip and Jerobi and Ali first, and you didn't know what their answer would be, would you have still said yes to doing this?
I would have waited for their response. You know what I mean? I mean, despite what we've been through in the past or whatever, it was still a group. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna say yeah. You know, it's four of us. You know what I mean? So I definitely would have waited. You know?
Was there any time that the camera did become a little obtrusive, just too much?
Absolutely. I wasn't used to cameras following me around and all that crazy stuff. But like I said, Mike and I hit it off just from a conversation standpoint, and it felt like the camera wasn't even there no more. So I just got used to that whole aspect. But I don't expect to do a crazy reality TV show or nothing like that.
I'm just wondering what's more important in your life right now, hip hop or basketball, or are they kind of one and the same? Do they blend together?
Honestly, man, basketball. But, and you can attest to this, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have the opportunity to even venture out like that. But sports is always my first love. I just didn't grow, so. I was tall enough to grab this and help my family out. So that's the meat and potatoes right there, regardless of what I would rather be the meat and potatoes. So I still got to look at basketball as the mac and cheese, collard greens, or what have you. But the music thing is still the main course meal. You know what I mean?
Is there anything that after looking at it you wish you hadn't said or let the cameras take a look at, or that should have been on the cutting room floor?
I'm actually cool with it. I'm actually cool with it. You know what I mean? Especially being that me and Q-Tip were able to iron out our differences or whatever. I think the reason why that even happened was because of lack of communication and things like that. So when I try to advise other people joining a group or thinking about being part of a group, if you don't communicate, then it's going to come back and kick you in the butt. You're going to be back to ground zero pretty much.
Mm-hmm. You kind of summed it up on how you feel about hip-hop now, whether really its existence or lack of. So what do you think has changed, or when it changed, that it became kind of disposable hip-hop and it's just like these one-hit wonders and there's no historical value?
First of all, somebody said to me or asked me if I thought Biggie and Pac were still around, would hip-hop be different? And I was like, yeah. Because they were on their game so hard that everybody else wanted to be on their game. You know what I'm saying? I hated the fact that they were going at each other the way they were. I liked it from a creative standpoint, but then, of course, it got haywire with the whole East-West, blah, blah, blah. You barely want to come out here and visit sometimes because of what happened to Big. And, I'm sure people from the West Coast felt the same way as far as what happened to Pac back East. But basically, hip-hop would be different because if they were around, for the simple fact, everybody would want to step their game up. Being that they're not here, everybody's lazy. Everybody, like the record labels, they're even lazy. They like the fact that, okay, well, DMX sold certain amount of million. Let's bite his style and see if we could sell something million with this individual over here. Whereas, coming up in the hip-hop game, dancing or MCing, whatever the battle was, if you bite, you're getting punched in your face.
Right.
That's what it was. Nowadays, that shit is cool. And that's the part of hip-hop I don't like. That's the part of music I don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anything you wish that was in the documentary that's not?
Yeah, the one thing that could be in a documentary that's not is getting more so, the part where Q-Tip is breaking down the Can I Kick It drums, a little bit more of that should have been in, like, the music itself. You know what I mean? Because when you say Tribe Called Quest, that's what people really think of first is the music. A lot of people, like you guys, the questions would be, how did you break down this snare and how did you chop, blah, 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 blah. And although I wasn't producing like that at the time, I still understood the method to, Kamal's madness or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think a little bit more of that should have been in the film. And Ali Shaheed should have been in the film much more than he was. I think we should have talked about Jay Dilla a little bit more because he is definitely honorary member of A Tribe Called Quest, and Busta Bus should have been in there more too, because he's also honorary member. But with 90-something minutes, I think Mike did a good job of what he could fit in there.
Well, on that note, what was it like just kind of collaborating with Jay Dilla? Because he's considered like kind of like the Miles Davis of hip hop when it comes to producing, and even his flow was good too. So
Yeah,
just talk
absolutely.
about that connection.
I don't even know, man. Like, he was just a genius. Like, took him 5 minutes to make beats. I remember being at his house in Detroit. He was like, yo, we went record shopping, got back to the crib. He didn't even put his bag down. He still had his knapsack on. And he just was pressing the MP, and then he took the record and sampled it, and next thing you know, like 10 minutes later, it was the Bend Over beat. So I was like, yo, dude is crazy. Now, I've seen Q-Tip do it. I've seen Pete Rock do it. I've seen Large Professor do it. I've seen a couple producers do it. And I've even heard other producers. But just to actually see this dude do it, it was like, yo, I think I want to produce. It piques your interest, even though I was comfortable emceeing.
Right.
But production-wise, he made me appreciate it even more so, because he was just so ill at it. And then he'll just go in there and kick a wild verse. Like, a lot of people slept on him as far as the MC, because it's like Michael Jordan. He's known for scoring. But a lot of people slept on the fact that he made all defensive team every year that he played. You know what I'm saying? With Jay Dilla, he's so much known for his beats that they slept on his MCing skills. You know what I'm saying? So he's just a man. I wish he was still here, most definitely.
Is there going to be a soundtrack released so we can, they can buy it? I like that answer.
That would have been nice, but I think it's a little too late to do it. I'm not sure what happened, why it didn't happen. But honestly, I think it would have been a great idea if we had done the soundtrack, and that would have been the album we owe Jive and out of here.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen, so we still owe him for, I guess, another 20 years now. You know
Well,
what
do you
I'm saying?
anticipate this documentary garnering new fans, not just Tribe, but everybody was kind of like native tongue, that sort of genre from New York in the early '90s, like the stuff that I grew up on, like the good stuff. Like, do you think people are going to turn back to that?
I hope so. I really hope so. I hope this movie does lead them to want to make a note of history, because you can't have a future without a past. That's most definite. And I just hope they go out and do their homework. A lot of people know Queen Latifah from Living Single and different movies she's done, but little do they know that they're not up on Princess of the Posse. Me said she a cool one. They're not up on that. So if they do their homework, they'll realize and recognize the movement that native tongues really were. And we were really just kids who loved being amongst each other, being creative. We didn't really put ourselves in a position to embrace and get the benefits of what could have been sort of like how Wu-Tang did. Like, Wu-Tang had a whole crew, and they knew exactly what they wanted to do. Whereas we were just having fun with that shit. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I hope they do their
Think
homework.
often about how new music by Tribe Called Quest would be accepted in 2011?
Say that again?
Do you think often about how new music by you guys would be accepted now?
Not really. They show it to me every time because, like I said earlier, we haven't done a studio album for 13 years now, and they treat us like we're Young Money, Cash Money. Like, because they have the hottest records out right now. They act like we never left. We step on that stage. They act like Find a Way was made in 97, came out in 98. They act like Find a Way was made yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing which we need to learn to embrace. You know, because we've missed out on a lot as a group. You know, I heard people say Tribe is our Rolling Stones and Beatles of hip-hop. I'm like, my pockets ain't saying that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I humbly accept, but, you know, there's more that we can do. I think we still have more to offer. But we'll see what happens in the long run.
When
But
did you first, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When did you first realize that, people would say, who's your top MC? And like Phife is like top 2. You know what I'm saying? From kids and
What
other
would I
hip-hop.
say?
How did it make you feel? Because people say that you are on
You
there.
know what? there has been a lot of times where I have not heard my name on that list. You know, like honestly, I haven't heard my name on that list like that. I've always heard Tribe is like number 1, top 5, top 10. But Phife Dawg as an MC, I've never really heard that much. Every now and again I'd hear it. But like I hear Jadakiss, I hear Nas, I hear Prodigy from Mobb Deep, I hear Pac, I hear Big. You know, there's certain names you're always going to hear. And to be honest, I don't really believe in lists because I believe in it, but they're really opinionated. You know what I'm saying? It's all opinions, and it's all good. Because most of those MCs, those names that you hear, I'm fans of them as well. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody wants to test me, okay, let's get it. I guarantee I'll be on that list when it comes to the battle, whatever. But I'm a little older now, so I'm more of a writer, I guess.
When's the last time you've been in a cypher, like, for real?
Years. Years.
But could you still get it? Like,
Yeah, I think I could still get it. You know what? MCing is like little girls jumping rope. They don't forget how to do it. 'Cause you know you got to count yourself in. You know, I remember them when they're like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then now they're 40-something, and it's like, all right, let me catch them. And then they get in there, and it comes back to them right away. It's like we broke up in '98. The first show we did after that together was 2004. So I'm nervous. Like, yo, do I remember these rhymes? And blah, 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 blah. And as soon as Bugging Out starts, boom, and it's like swagger. Like it never left. You know what I'm saying?
You going to be concentrating more on hip-hop this year since there's going to be no NBA season?
I'll be watching college basketball. Yeah. But, you know, I'm in the studio now working on an EP and an LP. So I'm back in the thick of things, most definitely. But I just love basketball. It's an addiction. Like I said in the movie, I'm addicted to sugar, I'm addicted to basketball. And football, actually.
How do you feel to have, like, Pharrell and some of the other rappers really give you props and give Tribe props?
I'm honored. I'm honored, especially knowing that I've watched Pharrell grow from being interested to being the master of his craft. I've seen the growth, you know what I'm saying? I think I was most honored by the Beastie Boys for the simple fact I was in high school singing their songs, battling over their beats, and for them to pay homage to us in our documentary was like most exhilarating. You know what I'm saying, to say the least, because those guys, like, you know, they definitely set trends. You know, when we first saw them, it was like, yo, these dudes is ill. And then for them to be giving us props, it's like, yo, I can't ask for no more than that. And then the Roots and everybody else that participated. So I was honored, definitely.
Can you tell us a little more about the stuff you're working on?
Huh?
Can you tell us a little more about the LP?
Yeah, the EP, Songs in the Key of Phife, the EP, that's one of the main producers right there. That's Snackbox. That's my protege right there. The EP is called Songs in the Key of Phife. 8 is enough. And then, yeah, because it's an 8-song EP. You know what I mean? And then the LP is called Cheryl's Big Son, Elma's Grandson. And the reason why I named it that is because when I was going through my trials and tribulations with the health and all of that, that was my support system along with my wife. And at first it was just Cheryl's Big Son. I added Elma's Grandson because I lost my grandmother like last June. And that was like my best friend, girlfriend, mentor, like everything. So that was with a heavy, I named it that with a heavy heart, but I had to honor her with that. You know what I mean? Even though she wouldn't like the fact that I'm cursing on a couple of records or whatever. She wouldn't like that at all, but I rhyme how I feel, you know what I mean?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We'll bring Mike in.
Okay.